Hello YouTubers, Joshua724 here. As you can see, I am not using the animated player mod. Most of last week, I was busy trying to get some new mods to go along with other mods. Eventually, I upgraded my forge to the most recent 1.6.2 version on a recommendation from a mod maker to make certain mods work, and ended up breaking other mods across the board. After getting a makeshift tutorial on how to read error messages and creating my own strategy on how to deal with mod problems, I'm ready to share my results with you. One of the most common problems with mods is not having all the files downloaded for a specific mod to work. Usually Minecraft lets you know this in one of two ways. One, Minecraft crashes, brings up an error report, and the header reveals missing mod information that you can either recognize the required mod or Google the error and find forum posts that can direct you to the missing mod. However, Googling the error does not necessarily give you an answer. I do have a remedy for this that I will suggest later on. 2. Minecraft loads to a certain point but stops, doesn't crash, and displays a missing mod message on top of the background of the texture resource pack you currently have loaded. Now, most of the time, mod makers let the user know that their mod requires a number of different mods in order to work right, making it user error. Other times, the user has so many different mods working that when they're trying to sift through the mods in order to figure out what is and isn't working, they'll forget that a certain mod requires another mod to work. Still user error, but more forgivable. I remedied this by making .txt files within the mod folder to make notes of what mods went together and what error messages would come up if you didn't have all the mods. Plus, my method hasn't crashed Minecraft. Yet. So, your mod still doesn't work even after you download all the appropriate files? Mod makers will also indicate that because their mod alters something specific in the game, it may not work with other mods that do the same thing. For example, Better Animations Collection Revisited, Animated Player, and My Little Pony for Light Loader all have one thing in common. They alter the player mechanics. As such, you'll have to experiment with what will allow what. Although, some mod makers will build into their mods a way to disable certain features so that you can use bits and pieces of certain mods to have your own enjoyable experience. You know how you'll download a mod just because it's got some cool feature that you'll hope to get hours of enjoyment out of? It's not until after you download the mod and load it with Minecraft that you discover the mod itself has some quirks you weren't expecting. Now, that's not to say that all mods are bad. However, it would be nice to have a little warning about certain quirks certain mods have. Then again, anything having to do with adding or changing biomes is, by default, going to change your Minecraft world. Warning: these fixes only work once you have the config file to edit. You can edit the config file only when you load the mod with Minecraft. As such, either back up your world or generate a new one you don't mind wasting. Biomes Aplenty is a mod that adds new biome features to the Minecraft game. All you have to do is select it when you create a new world and it generates a world based on the mod's biome parameters. There are a number of accessory items as well. Also, the mod maker has added a feature that when it rains, puddles form in the grass. They will eventually dry up after a little while when it stops raining. However, this can prove troublesome when you're trying to troubleshoot a malfunctioning mod. For me, the way I troubleshoot a mod is by isolating it and seeing why it doesn't like my Minecraft installation. If I remove this mod without letting the puddles dry up, the puddle squares turn into one square craters. However, there is a way around this. If you go into the config file, there is an option to disable puddles. BuildCraft is a fantastic mod that allows you to use industrial equipment within Minecraft. What I consider the backbone of this mod are 3 engines that power all the machines within the mod. Even more interesting is the addition of oil which you can extract from the ground and refine to create fuel. Now, in previous version, the oil would come out of a small well and you'd only get so much from it. For 1.6, BuildCraft now randomly generates, in undeveloped chunks, a gigantic underground reservoir of oil. Obviously, this means you have a much bigger, longer-lasting source of oil you can refine and use. However, I see some side effects to this as far as digging is concerned. Obviously, you can tell where the surface oil wells are located, although this doesn't make it any less easier to avoid those underground pockets. But what about the underground oil wells that haven't reached the top, if the mod makers have built that into their mod? However, there is a way around this. There is a config file by which you can disable random oil generation. Herobrine is the creation of a Minecraft user to bring some creepypasta to the world of Minecraft. As the story goes, Herobrine is a mystery NPC that can do nasty things to players in the game. Supposedly Notch, the creator of Minecraft, had a brother who, according to him, is no longer with us. As such, gamers believe him to be the ghost of Notch's dead brother, who managed to enter the game. Needless to say, he is not real and never existed. When you activate this mod and play it as is, it can create some very alarming side effects. In a matter of about 5 to 10 minutes, almost all the loaded chunks in my world were filled with cowbrines. I quickly stopped this because I was afraid my Minecraft game would crash. I have tried altering the config file so that the Herobrine would just be a ghost wandering my world. I have succeeded once. Herobrine ended up randomly spawning all over the place once every millisecond. Dr. Zark's Mo Creatures is a mod that adds a whole lot of exotic creatures to Minecraft. There are both neutral animals as well as hostile animals, or neutral animals that can be turned hostile. You can even turn some of those neutral animals into pets. However, if you keep playing the game as is, the animals have a high likelihood of spawning uncontrollably. Dr. Zark states that spawning can be controlled within the mod's in-game options as well as the config file. However, it is debatable as to whether there is a maximum animal cap or just a maximum per spawn cap. However, you can disable this by disabling the custom spawner in-game or in the config file. Unfortunately, this does mean that you have to spawn the animals in yourself. I don't have information at this time as to whether or not disabling custom spawner prevents animal breeding.